Money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
What's going on, Believers? My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves. I'm hoping everybody's having a good morning. Now, you should be having a good morning if you were in the overnight markets, but when you woke up to the American market shitting on you again, then the day probably went just a little less enthusiastic than what you thought. As we sit here right now, we are seeing Bitcoin draw down to almost 30,000. So the American market taking a massive dump on it again means that we are probably going to witness a sub 30,000 Bitcoin. Also, when you look at Morningstar, you will see that the overnights for the Dow were down about 174 points. And the reason for that is because I guess the United States is just full of a bunch of chads who can't really make money and invest properly. We've lost the ability somehow, some way. We keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day. I read that somewhere. So I don't know what's going on. What I do know is that the United States market is weak at this point, and it's not able to create and sustain a long-term pump. And that is starting to affect the rest of the markets. Now, it could all change at the drop of a hat. Some information that came out today. I've got a live stream of Bitcoin coming out in just a little while. And it's going to explain a lot about a lot of indicators are starting to say that what I've been saying for the last bunch of days is probably correct, in that the Bitcoin is probably in either the third stage of four or in the fourth stage of the bear market, and that we're about to see things turn around. And they'll turn around rapidly. So I mean, we're going to see how this plays out, and, you know, hopefully something's going to be good. Maddie B, sure, that's fine. What do you expect with 40-year high inflation and $5 gas? I expect what we're getting. I don't not expect it, but I also expected it to happen 2 years ago, but it didn't happen 2 years ago. The market continued to pump because we were still handing out free money. So all of that free money was coming into the market. And then when that money left the market, institutions started to artificially pump it, which is why we're talking about all the indicators showing that Bitcoin is coming out of a bear market. That's why it's showing that. So gas is still going to be $5. And we're going to be talking about that in just a little while because, and you know what, I suppose we could probably move on to it right now, because here's the indicators. Remember, we deregulated for 4 years. From 2016 to 2020, we deregulated a whole lot of industry. So the Dow futures right now are down $156. We deregulated tons of industry over 4 years. Now, where are we? Exxon stock is suddenly back from the dead. Why? Because Exxon is recording record profits. Now, if this was about oil, then we can't be having record profits in the oil industry. They would obviously still be maintaining their same profit margin, and they wouldn't be gouging people. So it would have to be. It can't be because we deregulated the oil industry for 4 years and made it easier for them to price gouge us now, could it? For years, ExxonMobil struggled to court investors as fears about the climate crisis and criticism of its business strategy kept would-be shareholders at bay. Now the oil giant is staging a dramatic comeback. Shares of Exxon climbed above $100 a piece on Tuesday for the first time since 2014. Buoyed by sky-high oil prices, the stock has jumped nearly 70% year to date, while the S&P's 500 has lost almost 13%. This is where the stock has gone over the last few years, trading at $103, a price that we haven't seen in years. So, yes, you're absolutely right. What would I expect with 40-year inflation? I would expect that. What would I expect with $5 gas? I would expect that. What would I expect with deregulation? This shit right here. That's exactly what I would expect. So we are reaping the fruits of that labor right now. Making it easier for gas and oil companies to gouge you and call it, well, we're working on stuff and we're trying to, what was it called? New endeavors. It was once called new endeavors. We need all this extra money so that we can keep going out there and find a new oil for you. That's the crap that they've been feeding you for years, and everybody bites it. They bite down, they clamp down on it, and that's where we are. And the reason that we're there is because we deregulated all of these industries for 4 straight years, and we made it easier for them to do exactly what they're doing right now. And they're recording record profits, not just record profits, but over 100%. Their profit margin is ridiculous. They are the most profitable businesses. If you go check, you don't need me for that. You can go check everywhere. They can't put them in jail because they made it legal. That's the whole issue. They've made it legal for all of this stuff to happen, so they can't really put them in jail because they've got a good reason, and they've also got very deep pockets, and they've bought Congress. I mean, we should face the reality here that the reason that we're in decentralized finance, the reason that we're looking in the DeFi space, the reason that we're doing all of this stuff is because we know the government is corrupt, and it's not fixable. Because there's no, you have no way to fix what's wrong with the government. There's no fix because the government has to decide for itself, hey, we're kind of messed up here. We're garbage people. We need to rein ourselves in, and that's not happening. The government used to be of, by, and for the people. The government is now of, by, and for the corporations, and you need to look no further than the Supreme Court allowing corporations to be individuals. You need to look no further than the Supreme Court allowing churches to have tax exempt status while still wielding political influence. If you have a problem in this country, it comes down to the Supreme Court. It always comes down to the Supreme Court because there are radicals on the Supreme Court. And I'm not talking about there's radicals. Everybody there in some way is kind of a radical. Maybe Neil Gorsuch is not so radical. Maybe John Roberts is not so radical. But you have 2 that are probably kind of playing it down the middle reasonably. Then the rest are all just radicalized in every single way possible. I used to think Sam Alito probably wasn't, but he is too. So you have a bunch of ideological radicals. You have a bunch of profit mongering radicals in Congress. This is what you get. This is where you end up. But let's move on and let's go look at the Bitcoin price because we just had a big surge in the price and a surge in the Ethereum price happening, of course, at the same time. Now, we don't have any information yet on when ETH 2.0 is going to drop. I keep looking for updates on it, but I'm not seeing anything yet. So it might be taking just a little bit of time. Now, it would be nice, by the way, if we can get a nice big pump. We got just a big green candle just now. Biggest green candle we've seen since midnight. So if we can continue to get a few more of these big candles, get ourselves back up in this 31,000 range. We really need to be in that 31,000 range for things to start gaining a little bit of traction. And, I can point out we were just there 8, 9, 10 hours ago. So we're not that far away from being in a much better position for this market. So we'll see what happens, but some other news that's been happening right now this morning. Solana commits $100 million to support South Korean crypto projects. The funds created by Solana Ventures and the Solana Foundation will focus on virtual gaming and will invest in NFT and DeFi projects. So these things are starting to happen, and you're starting to see some adoption in the South Korean market and a fund to help gaming tie itself into the markets that we're looking for. By the way, like the stream, and we are now on Facebook and Twitch. We'll simulcast on all 3 platforms. So just in case you need to reach or you want to watch on any other spot, you can do that as well. Also, Citi says crypto market volatility has affected user adoption. And that is very true, I would think. Concerns about stablecoins following UST's collapse have exacerbated declines in digital asset prices, the bank said. Now, they say cryptocurrencies are notably below their peak, and mounting concerns about stablecoins following the collapse of UST has led to outflows from the largest stablecoins, Tether USDT, Citibank said in a report on Tuesday. These concerns are most likely compounding declines in crypto markets, the report said. Volatility has affected user adoption. The Wall Street Giant said, noting that trading volumes and active addresses spiked around the time of the Luna collapse, which indicate user adoption, but these increases have since reverted to previous levels. According to Citi, tentative evidence suggests a reduction in trading volumes and futures positions, but not wholesale declines in investor interest in the space. After Luna's collapse, there were concerns about the outflows in USDT, but these have since slowed, the bank said. Some flows went into the more transparent centralized USDC, while others exited the market altogether. Total value locked in decentralized finance has fallen in US dollar terms, but is stable in terms of Ethereum, especially when accounting for the value lost in the Anchor protocol following the collapse of the UST and Luna Classic. DeFi is an umbrella term used for lending, trading, and other financial activities carried out on a blockchain without traditional intermediaries. Morgan Stanley said weakness in crypto markets, the failure of a dollar stablecoin, and a reduction in leverage in DeFi was resulting in the crypto equivalent of quantitative tightening in a report Monday. So you're starting to see these guys are coming out with information letting you know that, good morning, Flying Dutchman. What you're starting to see here is basically they're recognizing that we are the people who are making this market right now. And it should be noted that this market right now is and was governed by retail. It was not governed by institutional investors. It was governed by us. It was we, the people, basically. And the market cap right now is $2.38 trillion on $91 million worth of volume. Now, if you go to CoinGecko, by the way, you can see here that they cover a little bit more, a few more exchanges. So 1.292 trillion is that market cap, and $100 million in trading volume, or $100 billion in trading volumes. So you can see that it's just they track more of the exchanges than we normally do here. So the exchanges, we want to look right here at global charts. These are the dollar amounts, and this is where when we control the market, when we have control of the market, this is where we are. This is us. We're in here for hundreds of billions of dollars. It's when you see these massive spikes, and that's what you're getting right there. That's institutional adoption. So it's these people are pumping it up because they are finding that there's going to be a lot of money in this market. They're pushing it up artificially. That's what's happening. And then it's cascading back down because they're taking their money back out. They're putting it into the stock market. Or if the stock market starts to sour and the crypto market is sour, then they're putting it into bonds for yield. So when we get back to this area right here, and that's a level that hurts, by the way, but depending on the level of adoption, this is just a growing pain. This is all just a big growing pain that we will catch up to at some point soon. But moving it down to 2018, you can see right here, we're almost back to around the 2018 prices. So this institutional adoption is it's tough. It's very, very tough. Cody Core, July 1st, by the way, we have to remember Holistic Crypto said we would be at a $5 billion market cap on July the 1st. And I put it on my calendar. So we're going to see what happens. What's going on, Bobby? Hope you slept well. Do not be fooled on Bitcoin for the 30-minute and 60-minute charts. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. There's the 30-minute, and here is the 1 hour charts on Bitcoin that Jim is talking about. On Bitcoin for the 30-minute and 60-minute chart, it is a clear and tradable double top all day long. You will be able to buy it at a much lower price sometime within the next 24 hours. And fair enough, but we want it to pump just a little bit more so that we can take a little bit of profit so that we can ape back in with a little bit more later on. Like, that's the whole drill. That's the game. That's what we want to do. We want to be on that game. We don't want to be off of it. So back to this. We covered that, but now let's talk about Ethereum. Scaling Ethereum beyond the merge, dank sharding. Dank sharding would take a massive step towards turning Ethereum layer 2 networks into first-class citizens. We've talked in past editions of this newsletter on how Ethereum roadmap initially planned to ship sharding alongside its switch to proof of stake. While POS would have decreased the energy's network costs. DJ, yes, they did. Sharding would have been welcomed by users annoyed by Ethereum's slow transactions and high fees. The plan was called Ethereum 2.0, but it, along with the ETH2 moniker, have been retired in favor of a new roll-up-centric roadmap. This week, strap in for a slightly more technical summary of one of the more exciting developments currently slated to follow the merge. Dank sharding, as it's currently formulated, dank sharding would take a massive step towards making ETH layer 2 networks like Optimism, Arbitrum, and ZK Sync into first-class citizens. Sharding was proposed over 5 years ago as a way to help networks scale by splitting activity across several different chains. Like adding lanes to a highway, splitting the network into shards was proposed as a way to increase the amount of activity Ethereum could process, thereby decreasing fees and improving transaction speeds. And that's where we are right now. So that's what they're working on. Although the Ethereum developers generally agree that sharding is an important next step for the network, there are lots of competing ideas on how it should work. As a result, the would-be major update to Ethereum has proven difficult to implement. While sharding has been stuck in development hell, a handful of third parties have seized the ETH scaling mantle. Some of these solutions are basically just glorified sidechains, independent blockchains that can be sent and receive Ethereum network transaction. As an example, users can bridge token A to a sidechain, swap it for token B, and then bridge token B back to Ethereum. A series of transactions that cost thousands of dollars on Ethereum can be done for pennies on Polygon, Ronin, or Gnosis. Since the transactions are taking place on the sidechain, they help keep some network traffic off of Ethereum. Of course, this convenience often comes at a cost. While easy to spin and use, sidechains tend to make compromises to centralization and security in the name of convenience. So, dank sharding and EIP 4844. This is what we're getting to right here. The idea of sharding hasn't been put to bed yet. Enter dank sharding, proto dank sharding, and EIP 4844. It's the current design proposal for sharding on Ethereum, named for Dankrad Feist. Okay, so that's why we're using dank sharding. Yeah, I'm sure that is. The Ethereum researcher who initially proposed it, dank sharding is sharding for a roll-up centric age that follows as a highly level. Okay, so we're not going to go into the high-level summary of what it is, but we're just going to say that they are working on what it is that they're doing here, and we should see that. But we're gonna worry about sharding a little bit later on. What we're looking for and what I'm looking for, and I've been checking out all day long, is trying to find some articles about when we're going to get the upgrade. The upgrade is supposed to be at some point today, so we should be seeing it. I in fact thought that we would have seen it already. Seems a little odd that we have not so far. So most of the people do that stuff kind of early in the day. Let's go back here. Sub-Zero, good morning. Ulysses, good morning. Of course, Matt, good morning. Diggy, good morning. Joe Amaro, good morning. Sakib, good morning. Juicy143, good morning. Ryan Lee, Steve Jones, good morning. Chris, Jonathan, Flying Dutchman, good morning. Jim B, Cody Core, Bobby, good morning. DJ Who, what's going on? Barry Sanders in the house. Breaking Tackles, good morning. Crypto Life, Selmo, what is going on, my man? And Steve Jones, man, good morning. And Hussein, good morning. Everybody, I hope you're having a good day so far. So we're back to, let's go over here and let's check out our level of the woods right now. And we did some content today for Terrarium, did some content for Volt today. So Bandex is trading at 23.47, and we saw this big run up over here to the $3 million level. And then what do we end up seeing? Of course, we saw the Chad Bros doing what can only be described as Chad Bro shit. Listen, you know, guys, I don't like dogging people out, but look, this transaction here was for 0.2 ETH. The guy sold for 0.2. Like, I don't even know what makes somebody half an ETH maybe, because that's about $1,000. You know, and with your fees and stuff like that, like somebody's got to teach these people. Like, this is not how you're going to make that money. Not at 24 either. If you made a bad decision, ride that out. Like, I can't imagine that you got to use the money. If you got, you know what, if you got to use the money, I'm judging people. If you got to use the money, use the money. You see this big red wall here, and it was because there was a massive run up. And when there was a massive run up, all of these people took their profits. Now, here's the thing. I am mocking some of this because it's just an example of how poor some of the investors that we're alongside of are, and not poor in they don't have any money, but in that you don't sell at these kind of levels. Like, that's just sort of ridiculous. Now, when you scale this back here and you kind of look at the entire market here, then you can see there were a lot of people who bought into this thing and we're just looking for that pump and dump. So what we're probably seeing right now is the exit of those people. So that's probably where we are, is watching the unfaithful people getting out so that we can get the people who want to be in here, that are part of the DAO system, that want to be apes. Those are the people that we're probably, they're getting out. And now we're back to our people, the investors that we can rely on. So BTFA is trading at 1028, about sideways with the previous day, up 6%. That puts us like right down over here. It's a very small increase, but up 30% on the week. That's a pretty good sign. Terrarium continues to hold support right around 1800. There's been some variance. There's been some dip. It's down 3% on the week because it was trading back up here a little bit, but it's not that bad. So 1798. Look, I keep feeling like, and by the way, their timeline has been updated. And, you know, if you pull back here, you can look here and you can see that it's been on a nice little run for a little while. But, you know, like, one of my things in the Bitcoin video today, which will be broadcasting live, I think at about 11:30 today, is how we use perspective in order to forward our narrative. So if I tell you, hey guys, you know, from 1320 over here up to 1798, we've got a nice little run on Terrarium, and if you put enough money in it, then it looks pretty great for you, right? But I mean, you have to back it out and say, well, you know what? There's a lot of people that put in over here that don't know what I'm talking about. And one of the things is, I'm not always saying that I'm saying the same thing to everybody, but not everybody hears it the same way. So when I feel like when I say something like this, like, you have to look and take a big honest look at the Terrarium. You see here this massive run up here, and I took a lot of profit, by the way, at the top on this. Like, I made out very, very well on this whole thing. Okay, full disclosure. However, then it cascaded back down here, and remember, we were at 9,500 holders or 9,400 holders at one point up here. And then it cascaded all the way back down to about 9,000. I think it was about 9,016. So now we are suddenly at 9,667 holders, which means that we finally started to move back towards the upside in terms of actual investors entering the project. And it's probably been from down here. Like, there's new investors finally coming in, and we're starting to see this upward trajectory and this upward momentum starting to play itself out. And that's a pretty good thing. So I think that we're in that spot where, you know, we could probably call this maybe the first pump, and we can call this maybe the second pump, or we can call this the first pump and this the second pump. But the third pump is usually the big one. So I have a feeling that we might be playing our way into a massive third pump. Now, that being said, Terrarium did release a list of what their goals for releases are. And you can see it right here. Terrarium goal: expand access to money globally, create use case technology that will benefit crypto and its users. Terrapool launches on July the 4th. Terra Exchange in the fourth quarter of 2022. The Terra Payment Gateway in the first quarter of 2023. The Terra NFT Exchange in the second quarter of 2023. And the blockchain third quarter of 2023. Now, the focus, though, should be Terra Payment Gateway, because Dr. Praveen also put out a new article, and his new article is talking about Terrapay, and they are looking to start partnering. This is an example of what the Terrapay card would look like, and it would be attached to your Terrarium app. And so maybe partner with Visa or MasterCard, which you can see down here. They're talking about Terraria exchange initially, and may become a store of monetary value using collaborative partner such as Visa or MasterCard, so as to attain global reach in an instant. So what they're looking to do is partner with people and create a card. So you guys, we're in the ground floor. We are in the ground floor of a massive project. So make no bones about this. There's a lot of big things that will happen to Terrarium going forward. It's going to take a little while. We obviously have a timeline now, but not included on that timeline were exchanges. So, and we know like exchanges are what's going to move the needle along with utility. So as we see utility start to develop, then we're going to see more exchanges, and that's going to spread the awareness. That's going to spread the amount of holders, and that's going to make this thing take off just a little bit more. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. So cross your fingers. Phantom, nothing to report. CVC, we already covered that last night. WAGMI Games, we covered what's going on with WAGMI Games, but we've got Talos and Apollon who are going to be entered as new characters in the next update. So you look over here and you can kind of see like there's been a little bit of pressure on the downside. I don't know that it's still early in the move to version 2, so it's very difficult to get a read on one of these charts. So it's complicated. Like it's tough. Like, what is a good time to get in on WAGMI Games? Well, anytime at $11 million market cap, in my opinion, is a good time to get in on WAGMI Games, because if there's a partnership with GameStop, if there's a partnership with Twitch, if there's partnerships coming down the pipe from all these different locations and places, then it's entirely possible that this thing is 100, 200, $500 million market cap. Because something like Gala Games, which just has one game right now, it has a list of games, yes, but Axie Infinity is one game with billions of dollars in market cap. Sandbox is one game with billions of dollars in market cap. WAGMI has the same potential. Gala Games is going to explode one day. It's at $500 million market cap, and if Axie Infinity can do it, and Gala at one point will house a game like Axie Infinity, then it's going to be a $20 billion market cap item. So it can go 40x from where it is right now, and nobody would blink, because it just feels like that's the next step. Is there's got to be a big hub for the metaverse. There's got to be a lot of hubs for the metaverse, by the way. So matter of fact, while we're on that subject, if you're not, check out Phoenix V2. I've said that multiple times, by the way, and I am an investor in Phoenix V2, but that's going to do the same thing right here. This is going to do the same thing as Gala Games. Like, that's what they're doing. They're working on the front end. They've been very quiet and they've been very silent for a while, because the only thing that they have going on is just building and building and building. And once they're done building this thing, then they're going to launch, and they're going to have games on it. And like, it'll be pretty cool to kind of check it out and see, to see how well they do. But at 395,000 market cap, you get 10 million out of it, and you get you get a 30x if you get a 10 million market cap. If you get 100 million market cap, then your life is just way different. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think anyway. So a lot going on. Shiba Doge 81.98 is how it's trading right now. It's up a little bit, but still down 15% on the week. There's been some changes internally on Shiba Doge. They've been working through some stuff, trying to get themselves ready for. Listen, we're all trying to get ready for this market to explode. We all know, we recognize that it's probably in the process of exploding, and Shiba Doge is one of those that's just internally priming themselves for that moment when this whole thing starts to erupt. And I think they're going to have an eruption just like everybody else. It's going to be huge. So then we got Volt over here. Volt is currently trading at 60.53. I can see here, like it's just kind of trending a little bit sideways right now. There's been a lot going on in the background. And when I tell you there's a lot going on in the background, I'm understating it. You know, one of the biggest problems that people had was use case. So what did Voltoshi do? Well, he gave you a game. And then what did you say? Well, that's not really a use case. So what do you got? Like, what do you consider a use case? Because whatever you consider a use case to be, other than something that eats its own computer that eats its own food, then you're probably going to get in the next little while. This whole thing is just this whole thing is about to erupt. Now the market conditions, if the market conditions are right, and remember, by the way, June 19 marks the 1 year anniversary or the 6 month anniversary of Volt. So you're going to see something big happening right around that time. So I would be prepared for a pretty big move to the upside. And remember how up this thing can get, around 200 million market cap. It's not sustainable. The sustaining level is probably right here around 1184. So any pumps that you get, maintaining a pump, like you might have enough at 5 zeros 2500 to sustain something for a period of time. It's going to take some time but once you start to grasp what all's going on behind the scenes right now at Volt, then Volt is the next man up, and it's going to explode. Shift is almost through with the beta, so they're about ready to launch their app. It's going to be an AMA here next Tuesday. I just talked to Pan, so there might be a massive announcement coming. So we're trying to lock it down, and if so, then it's going to be a game changer, especially for Shift, because he's making a deal with a pretty big company right now. So it should be pretty cool. Ape is trading at 599 right now, and listen, guys, I know a lot of you are into Ape Coin, but I gotta look. I have to warn you that there's a lot of problems happening right now. Somebody just got robbed for $5 million on ApeCoin. Somebody just got the multi-sig wallet is a unisig wallet, so one person controls the ability of the apes to mint more tokens. Like there's just some crazy, like everything that you could think of is just like, Jesus Christ, like what is wrong with these people? They're really not, guys. You should be nervous right now with ApeCoin is all I'm saying. And if you're an investor and you're a believer in it, then you continue to invest and believe in it. But if you can take a profit on it and just see where the lay of the land is, I would 100% recommend that you do that right now, because things are getting a little bit weird in the ape verse. And Saituma, let's see. It's my understanding, and I'm not sure, but it was my understanding. I mean, listen, the transfers are only 13,000. How many holders do they have? This says 13,555 holders. So if this is Saituma, then they've only transferred 13,542 people. So this we're going to manually do it. Yeah, they remind me of that first phone call. Hold on. They remind me of that first phone call from The Hangover. And if you ever watch the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. This is what Saitama reminds me of. That's who they are. Like, it's just out of control. It's crazy. Every time I jump in on a project, it takes a dump. Okay, so if that's what you think, okay, fair enough. But if that's what you think, then I have a feeling that you're just looking to gain profits and exit anyway, because Volt is going to be a long-term hold. And I mean, it should be a long-term hold. I've been holding since December. So like, I've been holding since January. Like December 16th. I got to look. But I've been holding for almost 7 months now. And if you got in at a higher position than you are right now, then I don't know what to tell you, other than have the same amount of patience that everybody else is having and wait for it, because it's going to make another massive move. But it can't make a massive move in a bear market with nobody making massive moves. The biggest move on this chart was yesterday. Bandex had about 100% leg up from where it was. I mean, I don't know if you're new waiting for the moon, if you're brand new to crypto or anything like that, and you're expecting like $1 million in a short period of time, and it could happen, by the way. I'm not saying that it would never happen. It could happen, but there's a very complicated sort of thing. Like, investment is supposed to be a long-term strategy. Now in shitcoins, we make it a short-term strategy, because there's always a possibility of something just erupting and going crazy. Like this shift token, like it could erupt and go crazy, but it's going to erupt and go crazy because it has a $400,000 market cap. So if this thing, shift token, goes to Volt's market cap, at 400, let's just call it 400,000. If it goes to a $40 million market cap, that's 100x from where it is right now. That's where the money is made in these minor things. But if you got into Volt at $100 million market cap, then look, the biggest market cap in this space, everybody's not going to hit that, especially during a bear market. Please, and I know I keep saying it, but it's still a bear market. So it's not going to move like you're thinking. You have to have that long-term plan. You have to don't invest more than you can afford to lose. First of all, don't ever invest more than you can afford to lose, and be willing to have patience on your investment. So listen, I'm into Shiba Doge. Look, I'll give you full disclosure. I'm into Shiba Doge for about $5,000, and my investment right now is $1,000. So I'm down $4,000 on it, but I'm not here crying every day. I'm talking good things about Shiba Doge, because at some point something great's going to happen with Shiba Doge. I'm not complaining about it, and I'm not popping names out because I don't understand how a bear market works. I'm into GOAT token for $12,000 right now. It's worth about $1,200. So I'm down about 90% on GOAT token as we sit here right now, because I'm in here. This was still a good entry position for me. Because in the long term, this thing, they have a partnership, and I knew that they had a partnership that was coming, and I was relying on the fact that they were going to have this partnership. But in the meantime, one of their developers decided he didn't want to be involved, and he sold out. So now my $12,000 is about $1,200, maybe $1,500. I don't know. And ooh, Diggy, you just had to go there. And my investment in Phantom, this Phantom project right here, which has a market cap right now of about $1 million, I invested $30,000 in this one. But I'm not sitting here crying every day, because in 6 months, they're going to have an app that actually works. This is where they started. I would like to have made a profit or something like that in that period of time, so that, this thing pumped up. Like I would like to, if it had pumped up a little bit more, then I would have maybe doubled my initial investment. I would have taken profit out, and I would have kept my $30,000, and I would have had $30,000 riding on it. But it didn't work that way. But I was prepared to lose that money in a long period of time, because it's a long-term investment. So here I am, patiently waiting. You have to have patience. With Terrarium, I put $1,000 in. I put $1,000 into Terrarium right here. Right here. I put $1,000 into Terrarium. Then I put another $5,000 into Terrarium right about here. Then when it did this right here, I took $47,000 out. And then I waited for it to fall down to here, and I put about $20,000 back in. So right now I'm sitting down quite a few thousand from that. But because I got in early at a low market cap on something, I made a bunch of profit, which carried me through investing in a bunch of different other projects. And then here I am right now. I'm down on this one, but I'm not worried about it because in the long term, it's going to go insane. Right now, I have over 1 billion Bandex. I can call votes. I can call votes on Bandex because I have enough Bandex to be one of those people that calls votes on it. And I have enough to be a voter. So yesterday, it ran up to 32.73 and I had thousands of dollars, but it wasn't even worth cashing out. Like it's not worth cashing out at that point. It's worth cashing out a little bit when it gets to about a $10 million market cap. You just have to have a little bit of patience with things and understand that there's some natural cycles. Sometimes you get in, you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. But just be prepared to take your losses. Be prepared to let your money grow, and be prepared to don't be scared to take profit when profit is available. WAGMI Games. WAGMI Games was, I think, about 4 times where it is right now. Like this was version 2, by the way. But I think that WAGMI Games had dropped a 0 and we're about 1, 2, 3, at least 4x from where they are, maybe 6x from where they are right now. But at 6x, it like a 50 or 30 or whatever $1 million market cap it wasn't even worth taking the profit on because I have a much longer goal and a much higher expectation of it. So I'm not down, and I don't consider myself down on anything that I'm invested in. It just hasn't yielded a profit yet. Like that's, and I think that, and I hope that that's the way that you will look at these things, because like that's what matters here. And this is WAGMI, by the way, and the maximum that it was at was, nope, that's not WAGMI. Ooh, these cheating ass motherfuckers out here creating like fake WAGMIs and stuff. Oh, well, just, I hope you understand. Like, I'm not trying to dog you out or anything. You have to understand that patience is a virtue in this business, and just be patient with your projects. Take your profits when they're available. Make sure that you make your money. Like that's the part that matters. All right. So Ethereum's up to 1815, 1816 right now. We're at 30,500 on Bitcoin. It continues to pump. I was seeing that on the chart over here as it was starting to move. But again, we need 31,000. We need this thing to pump up quite a bit more before we really get a good idea of what's going on. The Dow overnight was down 209, but we can see here that it bounced from about 220 up to 209 being down. I wonder if it's going to get on a run and if we're going to start to see the Dow. So it's continuing to add a little bit of value as we move the day along. So that positive sentiment is probably going to be good for all markets. And listen, one of the things that I brought up in my, and guys, if you do, I appreciate it if you would watch my Bitcoin video today, because it kind of explains, what we're dealing with here. A lot of times it's just the perspective. We're dealing with the perspective of what people are looking at. For example, if we look at the Bitcoin price on the 1 month chart, then I mean, this is it right here. This is Bitcoin. And, it took years to get to 68,000. It didn't maintain it. It went back down here. But here's the thing, from 28,000 or 31,000, wherever we are right now, if you were an investor at the beginning of the pandemic, if you invested at the beginning of the pandemic in Bitcoin, then you're up 5x right now. Like if you were just an investor that had $1 million to spare and you put it in Bitcoin 2 years ago, at its low right now, you would have $5 million. So you really have to put it in perspective, because it matters so much. And if you were somebody who decided, like, you say crazy shit like hashtag MAGA, or whatever crazy shit that you like to say, go to January of 2017 during the inauguration day, and on the inauguration day of Donald Trump in office, Bitcoin was trading at around 1,600. So if you put $1 million in at 1,600, then you're 20x up on your money. You're at $20 million right now. So it's all perspective. It's all perspective. And anybody here who bought the top, waiting for the moon, if you bought the top over here on Bitcoin at 68,000, I was 68,892, I think, something like that. If you bought the top on Bitcoin, then you're feeling that your money is just like gone because it's cut over in half. It's like down 65%. If you're feeling that way over Bitcoin, then I mean, feel that way. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is going up here to the at least $250,000. Like one Bitcoin is going to be worth $250,000 within the next 2 years or so. So, you know, as a long-term investment, or as, you know, however you look at this stuff, Bitcoin is going to have just an incredible moment where, you know, its market cap is going to be $3 trillion by itself pretty soon. So just remember those numbers. Just remember that a lot of this is about perspective. So if you're feeling the heat, know that we're all feeling the heat of that investment. But listen, it's going to be fine. I'm in Volt. I feel just fine with where it is. I think my bag was about 50,000 at that high not too long ago, and now it's down to 10,000, something like that. And it doesn't even matter to me. Like, I don't even care, because I know that Voltoshi. Look, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know what's going on. I've talked to Voltoshi. I've talked to everybody involved. Like, I know what's coming. So, I am not concerned at all about my Volt bag. Of all bags that I have, Terra, I'm not worried about. Gala Games, I'm not worried about. Ethereum, I'm not worried about. I'm worried about Ethereum today because, God damn it, man, I'd like to see Ethereum hit 2,000 before this upgrade. Exactly, Dallas. I'm down to $10,000 on my Volt bag, and I don't care. Like, so what? Like, and I'm not, because I don't need it. You know what I mean? So when it runs up, shit, it's going to be like crazy. So, but yeah, like the one place that I'm worried right now is my Ethereum bag, because my Ethereum bag, like what I wanted to get this thing like way up, like give me like a 2,100 Ethereum blow off today, right? So that I can then get out and I have a couple thousand more, and then give me the ultimate, most radical, disgusting collapse that you've ever seen, all the way down to 1,200 right here, and then bam, let me accumulate more Ethereum, because what I need to be able to get into sharding, and in order to do that, I need one of those huge moves from Ethereum today. Like, if I can get just a gigantic, massive move on Ethereum today, then I want to be able to set up my own node, which costs 32 Ethereum. So I want to be able to put 32 Ethereum into a node, and I want to make that early money. I want to make that early money on Ethereum, because like that's when the shit's going to be insane, right? Because that's when problems occur. That's when issues pop up. That's when people get way overpaid and shit goes crazy. So like, that's what I want to see. Like show me that shit right now. And yeah, Ethereum's starting to move. It's Bitcoin is pumping. God damn. Go home, Bitcoin. You're drunk. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Bitcoin's up to 30,700. When we started this, we were down here. We were at 30,100. We are at 30,770 right now. And Bitcoin is just pumping. Dumped my Volt for some Saitama version 2. Woo! Better you than me, man. If that's what you did, that's on you, man. That would be crazy. You know what? Maybe not. I don't want to say, because listen, you can create a better position. You just have to remember the exit tax on, you're probably going in with the tax is like 13%, so you're going in and out 26% on Volt. So if you could turn like a crazy big profit on Saitama version 2, which I don't see, but I mean, it's always possible. If you could turn a massive profit that's higher than 26% plus their 8%. So if you can turn a profit higher than 34%, then you can enter your position much better on Volt and have a little bit of money on the side. So, I mean, if that's the case, maybe. But I mean, that's a long stretch. That's a stretch. That is a stretch. Come on, Michael Saylor. I need you to buy like 300,000 Bitcoin like right now. Just corner the market and then take it off the blockchain. Like, that's what we need. What we need is that Bitcoin taken off the blockchain so that it becomes scarce and rarer. Like, get all these guys to put this stuff into cold storage and stop having it in hot wallets, and then that will drive the price up even more. A lot of this volatility is because people are putting their money into these hot wallets. Well, listen, all I can say at this point is Bitcoin investors, they are trying right now. And we're like, this thing has pumped over the SMA and continues to run over the SMA, even though we got the sell signal. It just like pumped its way back up. So like, if we can get a good, if we can get just a little more price action on this, then we might be in for one of those epic sort of runs that we haven't seen in, what is it, a couple hours? Since this run right here, which was 29 up to 30, maybe this one right here. Here we go. There's the big run. So we went from 30,100 to 31.5 in about an hour. Like, that's what we want to get to. No, dude, you can't say that, waiting. You got to say trust. You got to say it that way. Trust in Russ. Well, looks like we might have met our match there. We'll see when the next little minute candle mints. Like, maybe we can get up to 31,000 in the next few hours, see what happens. Hey, look at that. This posted in Twitch too. Man, I don't know why people believe these guys anymore. Where is it? Saitama, was it Saitama Guru, right? Let's see what they're saying. Wolfpack, 57% of the supply will be burnt after completing airdrops. We are open up trading and will continue to airdrop. Everyone will get their tokens. Rest assured, we will not stop until every holder has their version 2 tokens. Now, this was 12 hours ago. Imagine this comment 6 months from now. We're still working on it, and it's still going to launch. Here we go. We are not a meme. We are a movement. We are Saitama. Here we go. So what do they say? They have no update in the last 24 hours. Okay, well, 12 hours ago, turning on trading volume 2. So here's what they said. Listen, you shit people, we don't care about you. We don't have enough respect for you to wait. We're going to let the whales get in here with their big wallets, and we're going to let them get to trading because it's about their money. It's not about your money. Now, did I nail that, by the way? Like, is that not exactly what Saitama do? It started at what? What did we start at? 56.28, and now we're up to around 95. So that was about a 50% pump, right? decent amount of trading volume. The liquidity, where is the liquidity here? Get the fuck out of here. They say their market cap is 891 million. Stop it. And their total liquidity is 7.5 million. Jesus fucking Christ, man. This is, oh God. This is just the crazy, God damn it. Guys, y'all know this doesn't add up, right? Oh my God. Look, here's what I said was going to happen. They're going to do this transfer. And I said that they're going to, that whoever that person is with the lock, whoever that person is with the lock on the multi-sig wallet, man, he is going to drain this thing. And we're going to be like, what the fuck happened? And that's all I'm saying. Like that, like this is just, oh, you know what? I see what it is. They've got the total market cap based on the circulating supply. So this right here, they're saying it's going to be 890 million. So when it's a penny, it's going to be $1 billion market cap. When it's 2 pennies, it's going to be a $2 billion market cap. That's what they did. That's what they went for. And hey, guess what? Russ found a way to drop all the zeros and make it look. Russ finally let him drop a zero. But listen, you know, when I assume that they've moved the liquidity over, right? So we can go look at the old one and see that all the liquidity's probably been drained, right? So the liquidity's been drained, and we're just looking at the token now. So let's see. Oh, no, because this now has a $1.25 billion market cap. Jesus Christ, man. I swear to God. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, my God. Does anybody here think that Russ is like on the phone with people saying, yeah, you know, between my two tokens, I have a $2 billion market cap right now. Just so he can brag about it. God damn it. I said I wasn't going to do this, man. I got to stop. I can't do this anymore. I said I'm not going to do that. So I take all of that shit back. Speaking of Russ, let's talk about this token. So shitcoin is up to $100 million market cap. It looks like it has pumped quite a bit in the last couple of however long it's been since it launched. We're on what? We're on a day chart right here. So let's move to the hour. And it looks like anybody who got in on SHIT in this period of time right here was 7 zeros, took it to 6 zeros, and then took it to 5 zeros. So if you wanted 100x, you got your 100x right there on SHIT. That's pretty crazy. All right, but it looks like Bitcoin went up to 30,008 and didn't sustain. Looks like it's still trying to pump. Like we really need that big pump to go up a little bit higher and get back over that SMA. So we're going to need like 30,950 in a big ass run in order to get ourselves back over the SMA, which is what's going to keep pushing this thing up. Otherwise, when you're over the when the SMA is over where you are, then that usually tells you that you are way overbought and that you're losing that momentum. Like over here, you can see this little white line right here. This is showing you that you had more momentum. And then this right here was showing that you had more momentum. And then there's your little momentum swing right there. But we don't have a momentum swing right here, which means that unless we get one, then we are headed back down right now because it seems like we've capped out on wherever it is that we are. Same thing over here. So what do we get up to? We got up to 1837. That's not bad on a pump, I guess. You know, if we got up to 1837 on that pump, we really still want to get 1900, 1950 on Ethereum before making a move. So and let's take one final look because it is almost time for me to get out of here. Ethereum 2.0. March is days away. Here we go. Here we go. News, and no news yet. So let's do Ethereum upgrade. Who else ready for the Ropsten test merge? Went smooth. Some minor issues with client having the wrong config. We can now depreciate the test net. Major issues. The whole blockchain down forever. No, that's not going to happen. At some point in this next one, I will be doing an improv collab song. Okay, keep your crypto safety. Let's see what's happening here. All right, so it's a switch, and we're not there yet. Let's get the latest right now. We didn't see anything. Boom. People are checking it out. Merge upgrade for Ethereum is just 24 hours away. Ropsten merge shall be a critical step to check whether the client software and the Ethereum nodes perform normally and without any bugs. Okay, so it looks like we're about 24 hours away. So it looks like it's not going to happen until tomorrow. Looks like they were trying to make it happen, but they were unable to get it to work, maybe. I'll be reading up on this and researching it a little bit today and trying to figure out what's going on. So I'll give you guys an update tonight, and it will figure out what is going on. Merger upgrade for Ethereum Ropsten testnet is just 24 hours away. All right, so I'm going to read this, see if I can figure it out. Bitcoin just collapsed a little bit. But like I said, when it got over that simple moving average right there, it was coming back down. Ethereum, by the way, is not holding support very well. It looks like there's a lot of sell pressure on Ethereum right now. It's not keeping up with Bitcoin at this point. So we'll see what happens. And Binance is not doing very well. It's not keeping up with Bitcoin either. Even though the charts look similar, the price action at 30,600, Binance should have been around 300, 310. So it's, we'll see what happens. Gala Games, on the other hand, is starting to move back up as well. So that was not financial advice. My name is Bleeves, and I'm always right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day.